The new FNCS announcement also covers kind of some other tournaments, like solo tournaments are out, cash cups, everything. I'm just honestly really excited by this announcement. It is absolutely fantastic. So I'm not going to do huge fancy editing in this video. I just want to break down the announcement and actually kind of go into the little details of what they've said and kind of what that means for tournaments, because it's kind of confusing and there's a lot of stuff into it. So let's get into it. Here we go. I'm trying to figure out the best place to put my camera. We're going top right. As you can see, this is the announcement that they have made. A nice, beautiful logo color. I actually like the colors this season, but anyway. So, at the end of 2020, after considering feedback from the community, we announced we're standardizing the FNCS format to trios for all of 2021, which we kind of knew that already, with more information coming in the new year. Now we're ready to share more details on the FNCS for 2021, including pricing, format, broadcast plans, game plan announcements, and additional tournament offerings. We'll break it all down. So, this is very exciting to me by far. So they first start off, like, I want to kind of, skip this a little bit, but basically what they're saying is $20 million for the entire of FNCS throughout 2021, which is very good in comparison, which is $3 million up from 2020. And we'll get into why that's so exciting later on. So let's go through some of these most important parts. So format adjustment, I'm going to make sure my camera's not in the way, sorry. Players will compete in a single cross-platform player pool. This allows players on multiple platforms to play together as teammates. Essentially what we're saying is there is no actual console prize pool. So I know console players will be upset about that. However, overall, this is really good for the top tier players. Console FNCS was not broadcast. It wasn't really done any content on from Epic side, from other player side. No one was streaming it that much and getting that many views. It really wasn't bringing much to the table, apart from giving players who were mainly less skilled than the PC players more money. I've already said I think it's good to have platform only tournaments by far, but full FNCS I don't really think there should have been. So very happy to see instantly that that's kind of gone. I know a lot of the viewers won't be, and they won't like that I've said that. However, this provides so much more money for the top tier pros and actually makes it a lot more sustainable for top tier pros already, in particular on PC. So next point, weekly qualifiers have an additional round to pare down in the final lobby, meaning more gradually. See details below, so we'll scroll down a little bit. So essentially we're going to now have 4 rounds on the qualifiers. So round 1 is opens, which obviously was only Champions League. The full rules actually aren't out yet, but I just assume it's Champions, that's what it's always been. Round 2, the next day, is top 1,500 teams, and then it goes down to top 250. What we already saw last season was a huge problem when you had to narrow down so many teams into, I think it was top 200 or something like that. It was a real problem. But now it's going top 1500, well, opens, top 1500, 250, then top 33. So that additional round is so good. In some of the smaller regions, this might not make sense. Maybe it's different in other regions, I'm not really sure, because again, the rules aren't out yet. However, this is really good to see that there's an additional round. It's going to make it even more consistency based, and you're not just going to have really bad teams essentially qualifying through. So we're going to start naming things correctly here. So it's round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, and these are the qualifiers, and then it goes into the semifinals and the finals. The semifinals are basically what you would consider heats previously, so kind of don't confuse those two straight up. Semifinals is heat, and then finals is the grand finals, what we would say previously. So right now we're just going through rounds, round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4 in each of the qualifiers. So in round 4, if you come in the top 10, that will automatically qualify you for the semifinals, and 132 teams will go through based on, 102 teams on series points will also go through. So that's actually a lot of teams to go through the semifinals, in all honesty, because that's essentially 30 teams will qualify through, and then another 102 on consistency. So I would like to see that a little bit less, in all honesty, but at the end of the day, is where it is. Top 10 is where you need to come in the round 4. So on top of that, remember what I said, semifinals is essentially heats. Then once you've qualified for the semifinals, you cannot actually play another round. So in terms of the qualifiers, there's qualifier week 1, week 2, week 3. If you've already made it through, so you've come in the top 10 in qualifier 1, for example, you won't be able to play qualifier 2 or qualifier 3. Fantastic, because this stops griefing in further rounds. This stops people alphaing up their drop spot in these further 2 weeks and making the tournament pretty bad. So every single week, you're going to see players in that 4th round, in that kind of custom style lobby, that are consistently able to actually qualify through, who haven't already previously qualified, who are playing their hearts out and have not already qualified, which is most important. They have not already qualified, so they're going to be playing really good to try and ensure that they actually make it to the semifinals. the semifinals and then the finals are also being played on different weeks. So previously, last season, we had essentially Thursday, Friday was the heat. Maybe it was Wednesday as well. I can't exactly remember which days it was. And then on the Saturday, Sunday, it was the grand finals, which was way too much strain. It was like 4 days straight playing for some people. It was in the middle of the week. It was odd. Now there's going to be the semifinals, aka the heats, on one weekend, and then the finals, aka the grand finals, on the next weekend, which is great. That's really, really good. Okay, so a big important line. This is really huge, and we'll scroll down and look at this in a little bit detail in a second, but all prizes have been shifted to the finals. Now remember, this is essentially the last stage, the grand finals, aka the last 33 teams that are there. All of the prizing has been moved to this. So if you qualify for the heats, you don't make anything. If you qualify for the heats, and don't make the finals, you will not make anything. So you must qualify through to the finals to actually make something. Is this good for the average player? Probably not. Is this good for the top level pros? Absolutely. This is fantastic, because if we scroll down, for example, we see the prize pool, 1.35 million dollars, split between how many people is it? 33 teams. So I think that's average. I think I've done the maths already. There you go. For EU, that's on average 40k per team, which is huge. That's massive. I hope my math is right in terms of the way I'm describing this is right, but that seems to be really, really well split. So the top prizing will definitely be over $100,000, maybe 150, maybe $200,000. I don't know for first place, but it's gonna be a big prize pool. And it said next week the full rules are announced, so don't worry, I will go into that more in another video then. This is something that I'm very, very happy to see that we've never seen in any previous FNCS before, which is the top 3 teams from each region's finals, remember grand finals, will auto-qualify for next season's FNCS finals. Note, this change requires that all 3 members of the team remain together during the next season. I mean, I don't know why you would split up if you're top 3 anyway. We've seen it too many times, but at the same time, auto-qualify for, was it the finals? Yeah, auto-qualify for the finals of Season 6, Season 7, etc. This is absolutely massive, because it really ensures that these top level teams don't have to worry about qualifiers. And why should they? Why should a top level team have to worry about playing against opens level players? There's just absolutely no requirement for it at all. They've all qualified through, and that's such a good investment for those top level teams. If you come third, first you're going to get this amazing new prize pool, which is fantastic. But on top of that, you're also guaranteed qualifying for the finals, which means you've got more money guaranteed in the next season. So more and more reason to get that top 3 slot in the finals, more and more reason to play as hard as you can. Play as hard as you can? Is that the word I want to use? Next point is the top 3, I've already read that one. Next point is FNCS champions and other consistent top performers will earn the opportunity to be invited to the mid and end of year prize competitions. These sound very, very exciting. That sounds like in the 6th month, sorry, I'm not gonna put that in the video where I can't figure out what the 6th month is. June, there you go. June and December, there's gonna be something probably similar to the FNCS Invitational, potentially just being a final stage, kind of one custom lobby though. And they're gonna, if you scroll down, there was something around, I think it said 8 million. 8 million. Yeah, so here we go. So we've also plans for mid and end year competitions. We'll bringing together the top performing FNCS players in each region in multiple competitive formats to compete for an additional $8 million in prizes. So we'll have must share by that events closer to the middle of the year, so near June time. That is incredibly exciting, because that is essentially, let's assume that's 2 tournaments, so $4 million each. $4 million across the world for another tournament in one lobby is really, really good prizing. So really, really good stuff there. Excited to see how those turn out. I can't wait for that announcement. That's what I'm looking for. And the final point on here in this list anyway is slightly different scoring formats for single lobby versus multiple lobby gameplay to account for increased level of competition and the increased challenge of attaining eliminations in the later stages. This is something I am so excited about, because previously we have had some really, really questionable players going through in the open stage. Not really questionable players, sorry, the way I said that was wrong. Questionable games, players dropping 40, 50 eliminations. Why is that possible in an open stage? That is not competitive at all. The opens should be played relatively similar in terms of going for eliminations when you need them, taking placement points, and kind of having that relatively good balance between elims and placement. The fact that they are probably seeming, based on the way this is, making it way more placement heavy the earlier stages in terms of opens in particular, that is so good. I really can't wait to see how they turn out next week. Remember, I will continue to do a full video on that when it actually gets released, but that is something that we've been hoping for so long. And we saw something like this kind of in the Benji Cup and I think the Boga Cup as well, where there was different kind of formats in the opens to the later stages. and it worked really, really well. There was high quality games, and that was something that I loved. So reading this makes me so happy that those opens games are still going to be of high quality. Next, we just got the kind of schedule down, February 4th to 7th. So basically, you can see there's 3 qualifier weekends, 4th to 7th, which is it starts on a Thursday. I think it's the reason it's 4th is for Middle East, which is the day before. So I think for everyone else, that will still be on the 5th till the 7th. That's why I was just getting a little bit confused. So remember, Middle East is nearly always a day before for all of these. So they usually start Thursday to Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Could be incorrect with that. So you've got 3 weeks of qualifiers. Then you have a bye week, which I don't know what that means at all. I don't think they explain that, do they? No, they don't explain that. I just assume that means there's nothing that week. I honestly have no idea. I don't really know what that means, but maybe they'll put that in the rules. I'm not sure. That if it's like a week where they're not broadcasting, very, very weird to put like specific dates on it, but I'm sure there'll be something in there. Semi-finals, March 5th to 7th, which again, remember, this is basically, the semi-finals is the same as the heats, so they are changing up their terminology. Qualifiers, semi-finals, reboot round, finals. So again, like I just said, something we saw last season, which was hugely hyped to watch, is the reboot round. And remember, the reboot round was basically the round where you'd come in and try your best to end up getting that top 1 slot, and then you'd qualify through. Rojo qualified through in EU, for example, and Connor on NA East qualified through the reboot round for that finals last season, which was really exciting. This match is one of the most exciting to watch by far. It's a nail biter because it's just whoever came first. So I don't know how it's going to work this season. Once they announce it, like I said, I will let everyone know. I'm very, very excited to see that. And then finals again, that'll be 13th and 14th on... So I guess that's a 2-day finals. So one of the things that's particular is round 4, aka the final round of the qualifiers. So the 3 weekly qualifiers, the final round there is only 1 day, so it's on Sunday. However, the finals, the very last one, the grand finals, technically is across 2 days. I'm guessing it's, remember, 2 days, not 3, because of Middle East. That's why the 12th is in there. So basically, they kind of just lay out different parts here. So again, once you're in the semi-finals, so this is basically the heats again, but I'm going to keep kind of using these interchangeably just because we need to get used to the different terminology. Hopefully, we'll stick with it. Once teams advance to the semi-finals, they will be placed in 4 groups in the respective region. So there's essentially 4 heats in the semi-finals. Each group consists of 33 teams, top 8 teams. From each group will qualify finals, teams that place 1916s. So basically, reboot, this works exactly the same way as the heats did last season in season 4. You just need to come in the top 8 to qualify through. So pretty much the same. There's a ton of teams qualifying, 102 teams qualifying in particular through consistency. So, you know, there'll be some teams that aren't that great that'll be kicked out there. I'm not too worried about that. I think the heats format, or the semi-finals format, is really, really good. So the format for that is just top 8, so basically just, it seems like 1 day. So you're not doing a 2-day heats at all. It's just probably 6 or 8 games 1 day. Not too sure on how that one will work, but that's pretty easy. Reboot round, teams ranked 9th to 6th, blah, 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 blah. Reboot round is a winners takes all. Okay, so yeah, it is the same. So the reboot round is the same as it was last time. You just have to come first. So that is going to be exciting to watch. 1 game, you must come first and you'll qualify for the finals. I cannot wait to watch that already. Finals, March. Finals, competition down to 33 teams. Chapter 2, Season 5, FNCS winners and new wielders of the Axe of Champions will be determined across 12 total matches. So it's 12 matches, which I assume means that the round 4 of the qualifiers is 6 matches. Total across 2 days, 6 matches each day. Additionally, top 3 teams from each region automatically qualify for Chapter 2 Season 6 FNCS Finals, which we already covered as well. So we've already kind of talked about the prize pool. One thing I'll note is that prize pool for EU is nearly double. Let me just do the maths. Yeah, nearly double. I was right. My mental maths is not all wrong. Is nearly double of NA East, and honestly this is reflective of the player base by far. I know people on NA East will probably not, they won't be too happy about that, but like that is reflective of how many people are playing by far. By far, like the EU player prize pool should always be bigger than these two combined because there's more players playing in EU than there is on NA East. and NAWest combined. I'm actually kind of surprised the Brazil one isn't higher, because their population is actually more than NAEast, but I guess it's not all just to do with population as well. And OCE prize pool 90k, so 90k spread across 33 teams. So what we got? On average 2.7k per team, so not bad for such a small region. That's definitely going to mean that the top earners on this will definitely get way more than probably previously, I would say. FNCS broadcast, so basically in the broadcast they're also going to be doing in EU, they're going to be doing a French, German and Spanish version of it for the EU, which is really cool. NAEast and Brazil coverage will continue. If you didn't know, there's actually a Brazil specific broadcast that goes on roughly at the same time. You can find it on Twitch. I think it's Fortnite Brazil Twitch. You maybe correct me if that's the case. I think they're also on YouTube as well. So if you're from Brazil and you didn't know that, there you go. Because I actually didn't know that until last season, but they do that. Adding new coverage for NAWest on the main broadcast and OCE regions. The OCE broadcast will be presented by our friends at the Australian Open. AO has highlighted OCE players in previous years, the AO Summer Scourge Mash. Fortnite, this partnership will span across all qualifiers and into the finals. Expect great coverage of FNCS Open qualifier. So that's awesome. So OCE has their own broadcast. So really, really cool. Smaller region, finally getting some kind of love there, which I really, really like as well. Competitive changes. Oh my god, I'm so happy about this section. So we are continually evaluating ways to adjust the competitive experience in both the immediate and long term. Our goal is to continue to make adjustments that help showcase the highest level of talent competitive Fortnite has to offer. The changes to competitive playlists before FNCS starts include addition of lever action shotgun, which has already been added, vaulted rift fish. Rift fish is the most unskilled use of mobility by far. I'm so happy to see it go. Vaulted shockwave grenades. We've been asking for this for so long. This is going to be amazing. Removal of elevators and IO guards. IO guards are so pointless and competitive. The fact that they are gone is fantastic. They provide zero benefit apart from to get their tactical ARs. They hit you, they drain your shield, especially if you land somewhere scuffed and there's no shield. So rubbish. Sandtilling will remain in competitive playlists and tournaments as long as it remains in the core playlists as a major feature of this season's map. AKA what that means, you can do sandtilling. What it means by as long as it remains in the core playlists is essentially if it's bugged and they remove it, they're not going to be in competitive. Obviously, it's currently bugged right now. I don't know when it's going to be fixed. They said that it was going to be fixed in the 15.20 update, which it has not been, so we will see. That's fine. Sandtilling's sick. I have no issues with sandtilling at all. We've made adjustments to the amount of bars players start with in competitive playlists. Thank God. I remember I made a video on that. I did put an update in the comments saying that you're not actually going to no longer be getting 200 off spawn. I remember I made the video saying 200 off spawn is now 50. So I actually think that works pretty well. Having 50 gold off spawn makes kind of upgrading a little viable sometimes. Continue to monitor how the bar system fits into competitive and make adjustments as necessary. I think it works well. So more ways to compete and win prizes. More excitement coming up. So in addition to the $20 million FNCS related prize pools, we have more ways to compete for an opportunity to win prizes. More tournaments. Let's go. Solo Saturdays. We noted that more competitions were coming in our blog, which everyone was freaking out about when they made the blog. Solo Saturdays. We noted that more competitions come in our blog post and finalized a few more. Solo Saturdays are weekly cash cuts for champion level players to show their skill, compete for the opportunity to win cash prizes, and potentially get on the radar of players looking to fill out for Trio FNCS. Amazing. There will be international overlap with FNCS. There will be, intentional overlap with FNCS to provide players who may have already qualified or didn't make it to round 3 of the FNCS qualifier for that week an opportunity to jump into a cash prize tournament. So what that means is it will overlap with round 3, which will be in the evening. So where's that? Round 3. So be in the evening. So players who can play this round, and then if you don't qualify for this, you get to play a solo cash cup. So that's really good. Honestly, like I love it. That means if you're a top level player already, that you're qualifying for the finals, you don't need to be playing this solo cash cup. And also at the same time, if you are looking for a trio, you have an opportunity to get placements, because right now at the current, before this was kind of announced, there was absolutely no way that you could get any form of placement without having a trio. So very, very happy with that. And everyone complains about cash cups, but fundamentally they're back, they're good. So I'm very happy. I've always said I think solo cash cups should be consistent all the way through, but a bit more placement heavy. Very happy to see them here. I hope they have a kill cap, but we'll see. More trios, cash cups, LTM adjustments. Trio cash cups for champion level players will now be every Monday instead of every other Monday to provide teams a consistent weekly tournament to prepare for FNCS, as well as a chance to try out a new team combination. Awesome, very down for that. After careful reflection and considering player feedback, the LTMs you had previously planned to hold on alternating Mondays with the Trio Cash Cups will now be held on Sundays to support a wider audience of participants. AKA, what they mean is the players who are not making it to round 4, the kind of last stage on the weekly qualifiers, will now be able to play the LTM tournament instead. So they have a chance to make some money, and more casuals will be playing that as well. Overall, very, very good, especially the fact that now Cash Cups are weekly. The format, I'm guessing, will be the same as FNCS. We've already seen the format for the Cash Cups. We haven't seen the FNCS format, so very, very cool. You have more opportunities to practice on Monday. I kind of wish it wasn't on a Monday, so that there's a break between kind of the qualifiers, because it's kind of the next day. But still, awesome. Really like the weekly Trio Cash Cups as a place to practice. So down, so down. And then at the end, basically, console exclusive tournaments. They're going to continue to put console tournaments throughout the time, just not basically for FNCS. Now, I've already covered the fact that they haven't had a full console FNCS in this video, but don't worry, there are tournaments consistently there. Honestly, like I said, I don't think it really makes sense to have a full console FNCS, in particular mobile, since they lost iPad as well. Well, I know you guys will disagree. Let me know down below what you think. I know this has been a bit of a different video, just a bit ranting. I'm very, very excited by this video, and sorry if it's a little bit more lower quality than maybe you're used to from my YouTube channel, but I just want to talk about this. This is a really, really, really interesting update. Very, very excited for the whole year of 2021. In particular, as a guy who's trying to make my career in Fortnite, the fact that we have such a good basis of competition for the next year, love it. Love it. So very, very excited. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a lot. I've been Reisshub. Peace.